Beneath. Prologue. In some worlds, money is everything. In some worlds, power is everything. But in our world, light is everything. Light is what gives us happiness, and light is what brings us together. A long time ago, before the shortage, we lived as one. But as resources grew scarce and new technology developed, we began to divide. We were forced into two groups. One group had the resources to pay for the new technology, and the other group was pushed to the side because of their lack of affluence. My relatives were in the unlucky group that was forced underground due to air pollution. We learned to live without light, and our bodies adapted to the dark, damp conditions. It is now 3074, and our way of life has changed drastically. Around 2100, humans started running out of the resources they took for granted. They ran out of food and clean water and oil, and they needed to figure out a way to survive. A scientist named Joseph Dudley took on the project. He majored in chemical biology at Brown, and he was the perfect person for the job. After years of research, he developed technology that infuses vital nutrients into light. This technology eliminated the need for water or food and allowed humans to survive on nothing but this human-produced light. Unfortunately, this technology was very pricey, so not everyone could afford it. The people who couldn't afford it reverted back to subsistence farming. They were gradually set underground as their land was bought up. In the beginning, they paid the lower classes for their land and worked to replace them in certain societies. But towards the end, they just gathered people up on buses and dumped them in refugee camps. Soon, the camps were overflowing, and they had begun building underground camps for these outcasts. Our world divided into two very separate cultures that did not interact. The lower people lived in underground communities, but their civilization was not advanced. They live in small colonies with regional leaders, but rarely interact with other groups. I grew up underground, and my entire life was focused on survival. The little I was told about the top world placed it on a godly level. We were told never to venture above ground because the top world was dangerous. They said that our lives are the way they are, and we need to not think of the top world. I grew up with one sister and one brother. My brother was adventurous, and his dark brown hair was always filled with twigs from his exploring. I remember the day that he disappeared. I came home to my weeping parents huddled in the corner. Tearily, my mom told me that my brother had found a way to the surface and had been killed. I didn't understand why the top people would harm a small boy. After that, my family never went back to normal. We all loved each other very much, but the pain of my brother's death was carved on my parents' faces. When I turned 17, our farm had a bad year, and my parents became very sick. Soon, they both died of malnutrition. After that, I spent my days farming and trying to stay alive. This all changed the day I found a passage. I was wandering through the dark tunnels when I saw a faint light. I followed it and finally emerged on the surface. The light blinded my eyes, but in that moment I saw the world that had cost me my brother.